Jacob, go ahead.
Thank you, Ryan. Good afternoon, Z. How are you doing today?
Hi, Jacob. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. First question for me is just how's training been this week with coming off the international break? Everyone gets a few days to, probably just unplug from everything, but just how's training been, in preparation for tomorrow's match against KC, but also just kind of, with that a couple of days away from, with the break, just how's training been getting everyone back together?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, international break kind of gives us a good opportunity to really focus on some things, whether that be individually, as a collective. And I think having some time off and then really hitting the ground, knowing we need to work on things, helped us bring the intensity and the fire this week of training. So it's been good. I feel like as a collective, we feel really good about the performances we put in training, so hopefully we can allow that to translate to the game.
And then this is the second time you'll be playing against Kansas City. Last month, held them to a scoreless draw in a midweek match. I was just wondering if you could just share, like, what are some things that worked in that match that the team is going to try to carry on and bring forward to tomorrow?
Yes, for sure. As I was watching that match from the stands, I can tell you that the team did perform well. Obviously, holding them, holding their attack worked well for us. I feel like our defensive abilities in that game were strong, and we were strong in our game plan. So hopefully we bring that same energy tomorrow.
And the players and Laura have talked about this as part of like what's the struggle been this season, where it seems that team just seems to turn on when you're playing from behind. I know it's probably just hard to try to diagnose like why it is that, but from your perspective, where do you think is like that missing link in terms of like, why is it that the team seems to struggle starting right out the gate with that intensity and it needs to be hit first, basically?
Yeah, I mean that's a question that we're still trying to answer. We've talked about as a group, and obviously something that we are trying to shake and get rid of. And every time we come out on the field, we're hoping that we can bring the intensity, not to match the other team, but to set the tone of the game. And that's been a big focus the last few weeks. So that's our plan for tomorrow.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thanks, Jacob. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey Z, happy Pride. So,
Happy Pride.
one of the things this season is there's been moments where it's just like so close, and then something happens and drops in. Is this a situation right now where even with where you are in the standings, you don't have to win the Shield to make the playoffs? You just have to get to a certain point. Is it a real focus on just task at hand, or is that big picture thing lurking out there still kind of hovering over you?
I would say it's probably a little bit of both. I think the reality of the fact that we play for a club that has such a long standing of performing well obviously makes us want to perform in a much better showing than we have. But the reality of the situation is we are at where we're at, and the only way to not be here anymore is one step at a time. So it's kind of a combination of both. It's the small goals that will eventually lead to the long-term big picture.
Okay. You also mentioned you did have to sit out the other match. Are you looking forward to getting a crack at Kansas City now, given that you missed that?
Oh, definitely. You know it. I always want to be on the field.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Any other questions for Z? Okay, cool. Thanks, everyone. We'll have
Thank
Laura
you.
here soon.